Hi folks, and a warm welcome back to the channel. So today we are talking about the R5 Monster from Retangula. What's it like? Is it a good alternative to a real Seiko Monster? And more importantly, should you buy one? So stay tuned to find out. Please do, if you like the video, remember to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. It really does help out the channel as I'm just getting started. So without any further ado, let's get into the review. So the Retangula R5 Monster. This is from company Retangula, a little bit confusing. They're also known as Rdunae, I believe is how you say it, but it's the same company. This is the second Retangula model that I've bought. I haven't yet tried out one of their monsters, so I thought it was about time I did. So what have we got? This is obviously a Seiko Monster Homage watch. Dimensionally very similar to the Seiko. We have a 42.5mm width. We have a thickness of 11.8mm. We have a 20mm lug size, and we have a very agreeable lug to lug distance of 48mm. So very, very wearable. This is actually got some really nice specs on it. This is solid 316L stainless steel throughout. The case, the bezel and the crown are all solid surgical grade stainless steel. We have a sapphire crystal with anti-reflective coating, and rather nicely on this one they haven't went too overboard with the AR. Sometimes you get a really strong blue colour off of it. This one is actually quite nice. I think there's just a minute hint of blue, but mostly it's clear, so nice to see that. We also have nicely as well on this one, in my opinion, we have a kanji and English date wheel on the dial, which is nice. It gives you those Japanese characters, or you can have English, whatever your preference may be. And topping off the package we have BGW9 loom, so blue loom on this one. So what are the outstanding features of this one? Well, obviously it's a Monster homage. You have to like the Monster design, you have to like Monster watches, and let's be honest, who doesn't, in short? The Monster was a watch that really got a lot of people involved with Seiko due to two things: the outstanding build quality and the outstanding price. And really, in a lot of respects, I think that's why a lot of manufacturers are now emulating that, homaging it, because the price of Monsters from Seiko, as with most of their models, has been creeping up and creeping up. So price for this Retangula Monster is between £130 and £140, depending on where you get it, depending on exchange rates. This particular one I got from an eBay shop, a company called Blackoctober-watches. I have bought another Retangula, in actual fact, from them before, and I thought the service was outstanding. They're a Singapore based company, and I have got nothing but good things to say about them. Their service was excellent, and the watch was superb. So that's where I got this one. I will pop a link down, not affiliated as always. I'll just pop a link in case you're curious to check them out. So this Monster homage then, this, believe it or not, having been collecting watches for years and a Seiko fanatic for years, this is the first Monster homage I have ever owned. So what do I think of it? Well, I am actually very impressed. I've got a bit of a big negative I'll come back to later on, but overall I think it's an excellent package for £130. So what have we got? We have powered by the veritable Seiko NH35. You all knew I was going to say that, didn't you? And of course, I've said it before, I've got no qualms about this movement. It's a sturdy workhorse, Seiko made, reliable, reasonably accurate, no issues with it at all. So you should have no problems in that department. In so much as this particular homage, I think the outstanding feature of it is that dial. Look at that dial. It is a sort of sunburst fume dial, and it just looks fantastic. When the light catches it in different situations, I think it just really shows a little bit of quality. It looks great, and you've got some really nice detailing on it as well, with the red text picking up that red seconds hand. So it's really, really nice. And it's nice to see decent quality as well. The quality on the printing on the dial is really sharp. It's really nice. And like I say, that sunburst fume effect, they've just captured it really well. And let's be honest, the dial is something that you look at most in a watch, apart from appreciating its form. So it's really important, and I think they've really knocked it out of the park with this dial. The dial is stunning. So moving on, what else have we got? This is obviously a Monster homage, and the first thing I'm sure everybody will notice is the difference in that bezel. It's got a sawtooth bezel that they've went with. I've got no issues with it. It is a design feature and something that sets it apart from, of course, the original Monster. It's perhaps not to everyone's taste, and if I had my choice, yes, I may well change it, but it is what it is. It's not a massive issue, and it does set it apart, after all, as being a Retangula model. That sort of sawtooth effect carries on to the crown, where you've got some nice sort of almost rifle barreling knurling on the crown there, and you've got a nicely signed crown as well. You've got some really nice deep engraving on that crown, which again is a nice touch. Onto the case back, I'll pop up some macro stuff. The case back is lovely. It's a sort of play on almost the Seiko wave that they have turned into a Monster. I don't know if that's meant to be Godzilla, but it's a nice sort of playful play on the Monster theme there. And of course, it sort of echoes the whole, Retangula, like, yep, we're making a Seiko homage, but we're trying to make it a little bit individualistic and trying to make it our own a little bit, which I think they've succeeded in. Moving on to the rubber strap. This is the one it comes with. The rubber strap on this one is actually really good. Rubber straps with these companies tend to be a little bit of a hit and miss, and this one is lovely. It's signed Rdunae there, and it's really nice and soft and supple, and it's lovely quality. And you also have some lovely detail on that stainless steel keeper there. I'll put up some detailed pictures. The Monster claw marks there, really, really nice touch, and really well executed as well. So I did mention that there was a little bit of a downside to this watch, and it is that bezel, and it's the bezel action. I don't know if you can hear that. It's not the end of the world, but it is pretty clunky. It's a little bit loose. This is very subjective. It depends on your point of view. How much do you twist the bezel in a day? Me personally, not very much. It's something that I check out when I get a watch. So therefore, it's not a massive deal. I could wear this quite happily and never touch the bezel. That's just the way I am with watches. However, you could equally argue that is a sign of build quality. And I have to say, unfortunately, the bezel is a little bit poor on this one. And it's surprising because I do have another Retangula model, the slim Captain Willard watch that they did, that I'll review at a later date. That is superb. So I'm a little bit surprised about that. Something that really we take for granted is the bezel action on most of these new homage watches. So yeah, bit of a downside that. If you are a big bezel fan, then perhaps this one's not for you. Me personally, I don't think it's a deal breaker. It is a bit disappointing, don't get me wrong, but not a deal breaker. So moving on to the loom on this one. Loom on this one is, as you would expect, very, very strong. The hands and the bezel markers there, the sort of shark tooth bezel markers, are filled with BGW9 loom. I would say that the hands perhaps glow a tiny bit stronger than the markers, just because the markers are pretty flat, so there's perhaps not as much scope for as much loom in the markers as there is in the hands, but still very strong. No issues with the loom at all. So the real question, what are my overall thoughts? Well, I think Rdunae have done a really good attempt at the Monster here. I think it is a bit of a double-edged sword with that bezel. I said it's not a deal breaker, and it isn't. I could wear this watch quite happily, but I know for a lot of people it does become a bigger issue. So yeah, I do believe that they may have sorted this out and it is slightly better on newer models. I'm not entirely sure about that one. I have seen reviews of newer Rdunae Monsters and they are a bit better, so keep that in mind. I wouldn't let it put me off. You know, £130 for this watch I think is an absolute bargain, and you could wear it quite happily without any issue. But the plus points for me far outweigh that bezel issue. That dial is just stunning. The kanji date wheel, I love that. The overall look of it, the attention to detail with that lovely keeper, the signed crown, and of course that nice case back as well. So yeah, I wouldn't let those issues put me off about the bezel. I think it's an unfortunate issue, but I think the good far outweighs the bad on this occasion, and that would be my opinion. If you're on the fence about this one, then if you can get it at a good price, even some are kicking about used, that would be amazing. Then go for it. I don't think you'll be too disappointed. So, as always, thank you very much for watching, folks. If you liked the video, please remember and give it that thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. And I will see you in the next review.